Namaskaram. Stories, a reflection of Gita and Vedas. When power forgets its source, the wisdom of the Upanishads often reveals a subtle truth. Downfall does not begin with defeat, it begins with pride. An ancient episode narrated in the spirit of the Katha Upanishad teaches three profound lessons. First, the Supreme is not an object to be grasped by restless longing. When devotion turns into impatient craving, the divine does not stand before the seeker in permanence. At best, there is a sudden flash like lightning tearing through the clouds and it vanishes. That brief glimpse is not denial, it is invitation. It deepens yearning, purifies aspiration, and humbles the seeker. Second, those who sincerely revere the divine are never abandoned, even when they falter. When pride quietly enters the heart, grace does not withdraw, it corrects. The divine compassionately dismantles the ego that clouds devotion. What appears as humiliation is often hidden purification. Third, every excellence in a being, courage, intelligence, strength, brilliance, is not self-generated. These are streams flowing from an unseen source. When the source withdraws, the stream dries instantly. There was once a fierce battle between the Devas and the Asuras. The struggle was prolonged and exhausting. At last, victory smiled upon the Devas. The Asuras retreated, defeated. Yet the triumph did not belong to them alone. It was sustained by the unseen power of the Supreme. But intoxication follows success. The Devas began to believe that their own might, strategy, and brilliance had secured the victory. Gratitude faded. Self-congratulation grew. At that moment, an extraordinary being, a Yaksha, appeared before them, vast, radiant, and mysterious. None among them knew who he was. The presence was overpowering. They first sent Agni, the deity of fire. Agni approached confidently. When questioned about his identity and power, he declared that he could burn anything into ashes. The luminous being, the Yaksha, placed a mere blade of dry straw before him and invited him to demonstrate his strength. Agni blazed fiercely. He intensified his flames, yet the straw remained untouched. Confounded and humbled, Agni withdrew. Next went Vayu, the deity of wind. He proclaimed that he could sweep away anything in existence. The same straw was placed before him. He summoned storms and whirlwinds, but the straw did not tremble. Ashamed, he too returned. Finally, Indra himself approached. As he neared the mysterious being, it vanished. In its place appeared the resplendent goddess Uma. With reverence, Indra inquired about the identity of the radiant presence. Uma revealed the truth. The victory over the Asuras was not the Devas' achievement. It was the working of the Supreme. The powers of Agni and Vayu were never independent. They functioned only because the Supreme willed them to function. The moment that will receded, even a straw became invincible. The Yaksha had appeared not to punish, but to awaken. Pride had to be dissolved so that wisdom could arise. The self cannot be grasped by force, pride, or intellect. Divine revelation comes only through humility and grace. When we say, I achieved, ignorance begins. When we say, by His grace, wisdom dawns. Thus, the story is not merely mythological, it is psychological, spiritual, and eternal. Therefore, always thank God for your success. All the good qualities you possess are merely reflections of His grace. Remember, the source of all your powers and capabilities is Almighty. Remain ever thankful to Him. The Chandogya Upanishads, in its 7th Adhyaya and 23rd Khanda and the first mantra says,
यो वै भूमा तत्सुखं नाल्पे सुखमस्ति भूमैव सुखं भूमान् त्वेव विजिज्ञासितव्य इति भूमानं भगवो विजिज्ञास इति.
The mantra is from a dialogue between Narada and Sanat Kumara in the Chandogya Upanishad, where the concept of Bhuma, the infinite, is explained. That which is infinite alone is happiness. There is no happiness in the finite, that is limited, worldly, material objects. Only the infinite is true happiness. Therefore, one should desire to know the infinite Brahman. Therefore, Narada finally says, O revered sir, I wish to know Bhuma, the infinite. Narayana, Narayana.